people join us, but today's video we're going to be going over Section 8 inspections, how failing one inspection or even just failing inspection could equal loss of rent for the month. So we're going to let a few people join us, and hopefully you guys learned something today. This is going to be we're new to going live, so we hope to start a live series, and eventually we're going to have where we kind of give you guys some leasing strategies or just some property management training overall. So we'll get started here pretty soon. We'll let a few people join us from our Facebook and Instagram pages, so we'll get going. While we're here, hopefully you guys have had a good leasing week. Today is Thursday. I am Dion. I am a operations specialist. My goal here is to hopefully learn, but mainly to give you some strategies to help hopefully make you a better property manager, leasing agent, assistant manager. We're going to be going more in home inspections in this field. We're going to be doing a lot of we're still going to be doing our lawn care. Don't forget, we're still doing our lawn care and turf maintenance. So for some of our old followers, we'll pick some of that back up too. But our main goal here is property, giving you guys property solutions. So hopefully you can make a lot of money, but also help people. Our goal here is to help. I have a background in social work and homeless outreach. That's what I did for many years prior to. That's kind of how I got started in this field, in property management, was because I was I was a homeless outreach worker, and I also worked for the city here in Nashville, which kind of a liaison for property management companies in the city and those that we were trying to get to accept housing choice vouchers and to have a large goal of housing a lot of homeless individuals. So I've done that for a lot of years, and over time we'll get more into that. But today's video, hopefully, is just more on um, making sure you guys can pass your inspections the first time and get your apartments leased quicker. So we'll get started here pretty soon. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you see me reaching up here, this is me going new. We're going to see. Make sure we got all our settings on. While we're waiting, let's see. We're also studying to be a not a property, a licensed home inspector. Speaking of property management, I also am a certified occupancy specialist and a certified apartment manager too. So I do have those certifications. But as far as I'm trying to get my home inspection license, and I'm going to be taking the NHIE exam. So part of this is going to be me going over a few things out of this book. I did my 90 hours through ICA, and I'm now studying the NHIE Volume 1 and Volume 2 books because I've read that if you study these books, you have a better chance of passing. So some of this we're going to go over. That is pretty cool. We can tie this into property management, and hopefully it'll help us understand and get our inspections better and know what to look for too. So a few more minutes, and then we're going to get started. So we're also going to look at a pre-inspection checklist, and we're gonna go through that in today's video. So hopefully you can see that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. um, so welcome everyone to Prep and Prosper. This is our channel where we help our local landlords, small landlords, or property managers prep and prosper. If you're an investor, we're here to help you. If you're a property manager, we're here to help you. If you're new here, if you can, like and subscribe, help us to grow our channel. Share this video. We're going to be growing this thing grassroots, but we're also going to be showing you guys some great strategies and some new strategies because trust me, this is one of the things that I've been doing for a few years now, and I've learned a few things, and I hope to share what I've learned with you guys. So, tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about something that can make or break a Section 8 inspection and your timeline of how quick you can turn around your units. And more importantly, why it's important to pass the first time. So, we're going to be looking into this. So, make sure you, in the comments, drop your housing authority here in my local city here in Nashville. We have our own kind of local housing authority here that we have a really good relationship with. But leave your housing authority here in the comments of where you can or in the chat. So I want to see where everybody's watching from. Um, so let's start with the basics. So Section 8 is not about a luxury apartment, but it's about meeting the housing quality standards. So we're going to be going over a few of the housing quality standards. What you want to do is when you have a tenant, and the reason why Section 8, it's not all individuals that's going to cause you any problems. The reason why you want to get, and I know people say, yes, it is guaranteed income, but when you as a new landlord or you as an investor in times that you are, or when the property is newer, every dollar that you can make is going to be a dollar that you're going to save and it's going to go towards the profit of your investment property. You cannot in the first 5 years as a new property owner afford to lose any amounts of money. You need to be maximizing your profit potential. You need to be turning units quickly. You need to be getting contractors in that you can trust that will do the job right, that will do it for a reasonable price, or even if it's not a reasonable price, it doesn't matter about the price if they can do the job quickly and get it done well the first time. So this right here is going to be if you decide to go down this road with Section 8, even if you're not a Section 8 inspector, and some of you all are like, no, I don't want to do Section 8. If you are a landlord, you want to inspect your property. You want to make sure that the property you're going to rent to the tenant is going to be of good quality standards. And when that tenant moves in, you want to have an inventory of what you have in your property and the condition that it's in. Because when they move out, you're now responsible for the repair of that unit. So, what you want to make sure is even if you, for my people that are saying, I do not want to hear about Section 8, you still want to utilize a checklist of knowing the inventory of where you are. Um, so it's simply safety, sanitation, and functionality of the unit. So is the unit safe? Do you have any sanitary issues? Any mold? Any major leaks? Does the unit function? And we'll go over some of the things in there. So today's video, go on your housing authority site. When you get your tenant, they fill out their application and they've done their criteria through you and they've passed and whatever screening criteria you want to go with. Once you've decided that you want to move forward with their tenant, there's going to be an inspection. You guys know this. Everybody knows the inspection, but here's what everyone does. Most people in the leasing office, they're not going to walk the unit. They're going to leave it up to maintenance. And everybody's saying this is a very simple thing. My job is to go around to different properties, and all of these properties I see the same thing. Most of the office staff do not know what's going on inside of these vacant units. They do not know, or they may know one day and they haven't seen them. The inspector may take. We had a, I had a comment from a video that I posted earlier of how long does the inspection process take. The inspection process here, we have a really great relationship with our housing authority. It takes, a couple weeks, 2 weeks, but I had a commenter mention that in some areas of New York, it can take anywhere between 2 to 3 months. So if you, as a leasing agent, are not checking your vacant unit and you think that it's fine, and it's been 2 or 3 months that's passed, these housing quality standards are not going to be upkept if you hadn't went in the unit. What if you've had a pest issue? That's one of the things that I have personally seen people in a lot of units, that these units, that the apartments that I travel to have failed inspections, is due to a pest or a rodent issue that the leasing office assumed was taken care of a month ago, but the inspector didn't show until 6 weeks later. So you want to get inside of these units and make sure. So how do you do this? Make sure you go onto your housing authority's website. Most of them have a pre-inspection checklist. Give it to your leasing agents. Give it to your maintenance staff. Make sure the maintenance staff understands that this should be a weekly, multiple time a week thing. It should also motivate you. Once you are able to lease these units, you don't have to do this anymore. But before you or prior to, and you're waiting on the inspector to come out there, you want to go ahead and look at the checklist. So let's look at a few things in the checklist. And over these next few weeks, we're going to go over the checklist. And I'm going to also just give you some leasing strategies in next week's video along with this, to help your occupancy. Occupancy is going to make or break your property. If you can keep people in the unit, you're golden. If you can get the tenant or the voucher holders, we're going to go through in the unit as quick as possible. Lower your timeline. Recertify them every year. Slowly raise your rents. You will be profitable in this business. But when we're looking at the inspection, the first thing they're going to do when the inspector arrives, let's start with electrical. Check all of the wiring. I have been to properties to where some of the cable wiring or the internet wiring is exposed. Check the outlets. If your outlets have any types of cracks in them, hairline cracks, it doesn't matter. They're going to fail you for those cracks. Um, Speaking of pass fail, I have a series that I have. If you go to my page on there, you will see a playlist that talks about things that will make you fail an Inspire or a Section 8 inspection. So these are actual examples you will see. And as we grow in this YouTube Live and I'm able to actually learn more, I'm going to be able to put more. I'm going to show you guys some live videos here that we've done for the week. So this week, we've had three Section 8 inspections and we've had three to pass. And what we've done is we know what to look for, or what I do is I go into a lot of the properties or apartments that are struggling with occupancy. I help train the staff, motivate them, and show them different strategies of how to grow, and what to look for of what I'm teaching you. So I thought this would be a good platform. I see a lot of people asking me this, so I was like, well, let me just share this on this page, and people can watch this video. Next thing you want to look at, are the electrical outlets secured to the wall? Are all the windows, do they open and close properly? If you have a older property, if you have properties, these older ones with these glass windows, looks like here in the South, older motels, storm windows, they need to be able to open and close. If they don't, you're going to fail for it. They need to be able to lock. If they don't have the locks, you can order some window locks. I've seen them. We've ordered them at a few properties to pass a few Section 8 inspections here and Inspire inspections. The windows cannot be cracked or have missing or broken panes in them. Um, some inspectors that I've seen, if your window is foggy, that means that the seal is broken. They're going to fail you for that. Um, Make sure it's secured. Make sure the weather stripping and is good around the windows. Weather stripping is big on the exterior doors. When you go to your door, close your door, step back in the sun. If you can see any light around it, that's what they're gonna do. The inspector literally, when he walks or she walks into the door, she's gonna close the door. They're gonna look for the weather stripping first. You're gonna do this during the daytime because all the inspectors are gonna come during the daytime. So you're gonna check to see if there's any gaps on there. Most inspectors, when they do arrive, they're gonna, if you notice, they're gonna pick a wall, left or right side of the wall, and they're gonna follow that wall through the whole entire apartment, and they're gonna end back in the circle. So some of them, they don't mind if you walk with them. Some don't want you to walk with them. So it's kind of up to you. So go through these. Are all the closet doors hung properly? Do they close? Do they open? They don't like keyed locks. If you are operating a group home and you have individual door locks, that's different regulations. Check your local housing authority. If you're providing what type of heating and cooling, it needs to be working. So it's just a few things we're going to look over. So in this first section, we're kind of covering our electrical, and we're also covering our and our flooring, and then also we're covering our windows in this first section. Next week's video, we're gonna kind of go more into it, but part of it is get your staff in the idea of checking the units prior to the inspector coming. Make sure that you, as a manager, check these units because then you will know. One of the things you can do that'll help your turnaround time is when you know an individual has placed a notice in, you then most of the time have this clause in your lease to where you will be able to go into the unit prior to them leaving, have your know exactly what the unit turn is going to be, know exactly what you need to do. So once they move out, you got your vendor set up for your new flooring. You got your painter set up. You know if you're going to need a couple appliance parts, so you've got that all set up. So after they move out, it's an easy trash out or easy turn. You get somebody in there as quick as possible. You schedule the inspection. Speaking of that, make sure you have a really good relationship. When they come out, get a good relationship with the inspector and some of the caseworkers at the housing authority. You're going to need them. Even if you only have one property, you're going to need them. Um, So a few of these things too will help you guys in leasing strategies. We're going to talk about one episode. We're going to talk about occupancy. We're going to talk about that with economic occupancy and just physical occupancy. My goal with these properties and with the Section 8 properties, even if you're not a Section 8 landlord, we want to make sure that you have your properties occupied and they are physically occupied with tenants. However, we want to make sure you are collecting the highest amount of rent or your full rent potential as you could each month, and that affects your economic occupancy. So, as a property owner, we're going to be looking at both strategies and making sure that you and we give you, as leasing agents and assistant managers, we give you new ideas of making sure that you are collecting all your fees. If you have pets, collect your pet fees. If you have any types of trash and they're causing any issues, and you charge trash fees or trash outs on your turns, and you need to pay these vendors. So it's a lot of things we're going to go over. I'm excited that we're going to be taking these strategies, but it's critical that you pass it the first time because in the case of the guy that messaged me, if it takes you 2 to 3 months, and let's just use simple things, and your rent is $1,000 a month, and it takes you 2 months for you to get an inspection, you're already looking at $2,000. If you fail that inspection and you have to wait another month, let's say it doesn't take two, that's another $1,000. You're out $3,000 for the inspection. That is a lot of lost rent for someone, and that's if we know rent is a lot higher nowadays. So this is just simple, easy numbers. So you want to make sure you collect the highest amount of rent, but you pass your inspections on the first time, and that you know what the inspectors are looking for. You can actually go, and some housing authorities may allow you, if you really work with them, to shadow an inspector. So if this is your first time as a landlord, you're not an apartment manager, you don't have a lot of units, so you don't really have exposure to a property manager. I mean, or an inspector a lot. So and you just maybe have one or two units. You can actually go with them and see if they will allow you to kind of shadow or talk to other property managers. Go to the apartment association, speak to some of the individuals there, and ask them how was it with the inspection. So that's some of the things we want to do and go over. Um, while we're here and we're doing it, we'll take a quick break to answer to make sure we're not missing any questions. Yeah, one of the things is about the tenants with Section 8, it can be difficult, but not every tenant with Section 8 is going to be an individual that has any kind of issues. I will say this, if you're going to go down that road, it's really good to partner with the case managers and also partner with some of the community agencies in your area. Because sometimes you, as the landlord, this is not your job, but if you could make your tenant happy and keep the um, rent being paid each month, it may help you to have some agencies to where if they get behind rent, you can send them, or if they need food, you can send it to them, or food boxes. So we just kind of want to do a quick live tonight. I hope you guys have learned something. So we're going to be going over our NHIE Volume 1 and 2, and we're going to be learning about the electrical system of a house and the components of it, and also the terms. So that's going to be something I'm going to incorporate with you guys to hopefully make you better property managers. Let's start here. So one of the things I've heard is, let's talk about the outlets. An outlet is a place where current is taken for use. Examples include receptacles, light fixtures, and connections at electrical appliances such as water heaters. That lets you know why they do not like cracks, because this is something that carries current, or there's current, not carries current. There's a place where current is occurring. So if it is something that has any types of cracks inside of the outlet, I see why the inspector is failing something like that. And we hope that my goal at Prep and Property Solutions is Prep and Prosper Property Solutions is, we're not just here to just be a property management company. My goal is to give you guys solutions. We all can manage properties. That's I'm going to teach you how to be a good manager. But we also need to have solutions for a lot of things. Is how you say it, how you handle things, and what the solutions are. Trust me, that's going to be a running thing. How you say it. So Prep and Prosper. Make sure you check out the next videos. We're going to be dropping a lot of videos this week. We're going to be dropping a lot of shorts. Go back and check our series. Um, Make sure we're gonna have a this weekend. I'm gonna show you guys some walks that we've done in actual apartments this week. So we hope to drop that video pretty soon. But Prep and Prosper, thank you guys for showing up for me. Thank you guys. We hope that you guys learned something this week. We're gonna be doing a live video. We're gonna be going live Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Join us here. That's gonna be our weekly time. Wednesdays 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So join us, Prep and Prosper. Thank you.